Hello and welcome to a new trip report here on BongoPlanes, where we currently are in Brussels. We have arrived here in A and we are now heading over to B, which is the non-Schengen part of the airport. And we're doing so because we will today be flying from Brussels to New York JFK on board SN 501 of Brussels Airlines. An Airbus A330-200 will be operating this flight. First, we need to pass through passport control, so let's head over there. Alright, so we got through passport control and security. Now there was a little bit of a delay here because the machine doing the passport control didn't quite work properly, but in the end we got through after all. Now we're heading towards our gate, which today is B40, which is at the far end of the terminal. It is in fact my first time that I will be flying on a long-haul flight with Brussels Airlines. I've been flying with this airline countless times, but always within Europe, so I am very curious to see how Brussels will be on a long distance flight. Our boarding is scheduled at 9:35 in the morning today, and our departure is scheduled for 10:35. Alright, so welcome here on board SN 501 going from Brussels to New York JFK. As you can see, we are already in Pushback. Now let's quickly talk about the boarding today. Well, boarding started, and after a few routine security questions, we were on our way. In the meantime, my seat had however been changed, and now in 14A, which is great because it's a window seat. It is also in what they call comfort zone of economy class. The seat is okay. It's definitely not the most comfortable I've ever experienced, but it is economy, so you can't expect much more. The leg space is however great for economy. There is also a personal screen for the in-flight entertainment system, although it is a bit tough to pull out. The weather here in Brussels is nice and sunny at 5 degrees Celsius. Our flight time today is estimated at 7 hours and 20 minutes. So with that, let's get going and heading to New York JFK. And with that, the flight over the big pond began. Shortly after takeoff, we were offered a drink and a little snack. After a little while, this was followed by a meal. The choice was between beef and fish, and I went for the beef. It was quite tasty, and even the vegetables still had a bite. Crossing the Atlantic, I took an extended nap, which was quite relaxing, and that despite for a demon child which was sat somewhere in the back of the aircraft and was shouting for 3 to 4 hours straight. As we were flying over North America, crossing from Canada into the US, about 1.5 hours before arrival, another snack and drink was handed out. Some sort of vegetarian pizza slice, eatable for sure, but that was about it. And then the time had come when we were starting our approach into New York JFK. Now, overall, the flight was actually pretty good. The cabin crew was very friendly and welcoming. The food on board was, well, it wasn't spectacular. It was eatable. Some of it was actually quite good. Some of it was just standard airplane food, but it was okay. Of course, it helped to have a kind of mini upgrade into the comfort zone of economy, but more on that in just a second, because the biggest disappointment with this flight was actually what happened before the flight, and that was the booking procedure. Now, see, I was booking this flight through Lufthansa, and my return flight from New York to Europe will be on Lufthansa. But the first flight here was, of course, booked on Lufthansa, but operated by Brussels Airlines. Now, when I do a flight, it is important for me that I have a window seat in case I want to make a trip report. So I wanted to make a seat reservation, and that simply didn't work. Or maybe I should say it differently. It wasn't clear whether the seat reservation had worked or not. At some point I believed that everything was fine until I received an email from Lufthansa saying that I should contact Lufthansa service. I did so, and they said that there was indeed something wrong with the seat reservation, but they couldn't change it, so I would have to contact Brussels Airlines. So I called Brussels Airlines service, and they had absolutely no clue that there was anything wrong with the booking. But then suddenly the whole scenario was resolved on its own account when we, during boarding, were assigned new seats, and I got seat 14 Alpha in now the comfort zone and economy instead of the standard economy, so kind of a small upgrade, and now also a window seat. So of course I was happy about that. But the whole procedure was a total mess, and just demonstrated that even though the whole thing was operated and bought and executed within the Lufthansa group, all the IT systems were not talking together and they had no clue what was going on. Not really convincing when you have a paying customer in front of you. But except for the demon child, the flight was pretty decent, although I should mention that the in-flight entertainment system was quite old and the content was very limited. And with that, welcome to the probably most iconic airport in the world, the John F. Kennedy International Airport of New York, where the weather is cloudy at -2 degrees Celsius. Now, I hope that you have enjoyed being on board here together with me. If you have so, then feel free to smash the like button. That would be very much appreciated. If you're new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. I have certainly enjoyed having you with me here on this trip. And with that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.